A lot of us walk around assuming intelligence is a fixed number. We view it as a genetic hand of cards dealt at birth, locked away inside our biology, where nothing can ever really change it. Because we see it that way, we tend to view our daily routines, the scrolling through feeds, the constant background noise, the casual chatter, as harmless ways to unwind. This assumption overlooks a quiet process. While we believe we are resting our brains, these comfortable, everyday habits are slowly eroding the mental structures required to think clearly. Research into neuroplasticity shows that the brain constantly reshapes itself based on how it is used. When we spend hours in a state of fractured attention, the neural pathways responsible for focus begin to weaken. By feeding the brain constant, shallow escapes, we train it to shed the metabolic weight of deep thinking. We are choosing to sacrifice mental capacity for the sake of immediate comfort. Intellectual decline is rarely a matter of bad genetics. It is a state reached through 4 specific, repeated behaviors that favor mental ease over mental growth. The first trap is the reflex to flee any moment of stillness. You have 5 quiet minutes, and the hand immediately reaches for a phone to refresh a feed or open a new tab. Every time you feed the brain a rapid fire of disconnected videos and text, you train it to expect constant novelty. This rewires your neural pathways for short bursts, making it physically difficult to sustain a single coherent train of thought. We treat boredom like a defect, but a quiet, understimulated mind provides the environment where intelligence grows. When the brain isn't dodging incoming notifications, it begins to process information, solving problems and linking abstract ideas together. If you cannot tolerate silence while waiting in a line or taking a walk, you are dismantling your own deep thinking capabilities through simple disuse. The second trap moves from our screens into our social lives. It is the urge to fill every gap in a conversation with your own voice, often steering the discussion just to prove a point. When you talk simply to sound intelligent or to win an argument, you throw up a mental wall. This defensiveness signals to your brain, but it already has all the answers, which pauses the intake of new information. Often, the person dominating the room is the least self-aware. By contrast, the silent observer is doing the heavy lifting, reading the room, processing the arguments, and mapping out new connections that the speaker is too busy to notice. Real intellect requires the discipline to take in data rather than broadcast it. Rushing to speak every thought puts a hard stop on your own learning process. Then there is the third behavior, avoiding anything hard. You pick up a new book or try a complex project, but the second it gets confusing, you feel the sting of inadequacy and shut the book. Queuing provides immediate relief from that discomfort, but the human brain operates under the exact same biological rules as a physical muscle. It demands heavy resistance. Without the friction of trying to understand something difficult, those neural networks have no reason to strengthen. By opting for the easiest tasks and the most digestible content, you let your mind go soft. Over time, that lack of exertion leaves you poorly equipped to handle complex problem solving when it finally matters. That uncomfortable moment when you feel confused and out of your depth is the biological requirement for cognitive expansion. Running from it guarantees mental atrophy. The final trap is the assumption that you have life figured out, that your current opinions are flawless and you already know enough. The instant you adopt this mindset, the engine stops. Genuine curiosity evaporates. Deep understanding is replaced by rigid opinions, and your intellectual trajectory flatlines. This is why the sharpest thinkers deliberately practice a beginner's mind. They stay remarkably open, testing their own beliefs and asking the foundational, seemingly obvious questions that others are too proud to ask. Humility keeps the mind alive. If you cannot remember the last time you entirely changed your stance on an important issue, your intellectual progress has likely ground to a halt. When you look at these 4 behaviors together, a clear picture emerges. A stagnant mind is an acquired state, built day by day through the systematic avoidance of discomfort. Mental capability develops through friction, the resistance of difficult tasks, the humility of silence, and long periods of understimulation to process new ideas. This realization shifts the focus away from genetics. Our daily choices determine the ceiling of our own focus and the depth of our own thinking. The next time you find yourself alone in a quiet room, resist the urge to reach for your phone. Let the silence exist. Let your brain process the void without a digital distraction. When you start a complex project and hit that wall of confusion, lean into it. Accept the frustration. In your next conversation, suppress the urge to jump in and force yourself to listen instead. By stepping into discomfort and cutting off cheap escapes, you stop fighting your biology. You allow your cognitive potential to inevitably rise.